Is it really the other kid's fault when your child gets taken advantage of? It's a scenario that countless parents encounter, the sinking feeling that your child is being used as a free helper by their classmates. Your first instinct might be outraged, directed squarely at the other children. But here's the hard truth: simply blaming the other party is, at best, a temporary emotional release. It doesn't solve the core problem. The real, more productive question we need to ask is, how can we equip our own children with the skills to navigate and resolve these situations effectively? Part 1. The free helper scenario: more than just a simple favor. A parent recently reached out to me, frustrated and concerned. Their children, they felt, had essentially become a free labor force for a classmate. The story unfolded like this. The school had assigned a hands-on craft project. One of their child's classmates struggled with the task and asked for help. The parents had always instilled the value of helping others and their children, so the kids naturally agreed. What started as a one-time assist with the craft project, however, quickly escalated. The classmate, perhaps seeing a willing helper, began asking for more. Can you help me organize my notes? Later, it became, can you help me with my homework? Eventually, the expectations grew to the point where the classmates seemed to expect the children to complete assignments for them. The most striking part: the requests weren't aggressive or demanding. They were often just a simple, can you help me? And the helpful children, each time, said yes. To add insult to injury, the classmates' craft project completed with significant help received praise from the teacher, while the helpful child's own work went unrecognized. There wasn't even a simple thank you from the classmates, who seemed to take the help entirely for granted. When the children recounted this story to the parents, they didn't seem overly upset, but the parent was furious. The parent's concluding question to me was, are kids born after 2010 just naturally like this? So young, and already they know how to boss people around and take advantage. That feeling is completely understandable. As parents, our protective instincts kick in. However, stopping at this conclusion, labeling the other children as bad, is a potentially risky oversimplification that misses a crucial teaching opportunity. Let's be clear, the classmates' behavior is indeed problematic, but since the question came from the parents of the helper, our focus should be on what their children can learn from this experience. We often teach children the virtues of cooperation and helping others, and this is fundamentally good advice. The world operates on collaboration. Understanding that you sometimes need to give before you can get is a sophisticated and valuable life approach. But this lesson is only half complete if we don't also teach our children to consider, what's in it for me? There is no need to be ashamed of this. A child who only knows how to give, without any thought of reciprocity, isn't just being well behaved, they are at risk of becoming a perpetual people pleaser, setting themselves up for a pattern of being exploited. Our goal isn't to raise selfish, calculating children. It's to raise children who have a realistic and healthy understanding of how the world works. We want them to be generous, but also street smart. Teaching generosity is a high-level principle, and it's not wrong. The mistake lies in only teaching unconditional giving without the equally important principle of fair exchange. Think about it from an adult perspective. Would you work a job without receiving a salary? Would you produce and ship goods without getting paid? If you did, the other party would likely be deeply suspicious of your motives. The fundamental logic of the real world is actually quite simple: reciprocity and fair exchange. A relationship without some form of balanced exchange isn't a healthy, normal relationship, even with family and close friends. When we do favors, we often hope for appreciation, respect, or the unspoken understanding that the support would be mutual. Isn't it true that even with the selfless love we have for our children, we feel a profound sense of joy when they show gratitude or kindness in return? So why, when it comes to peer relationships, are we often hesitant to teach our children this basic, healthy logic? The reasons are complex. We worry our children will become mercenaries, vulgar, or lose their innate kindness by learning to calculate. We fear tarnishing their innocence. This concern comes from a place of love. However, avoiding these conversations can inadvertently create a much larger problem. When a child enters a group setting for the first time, they may do so with a tool person mentality. They may internalize the belief that I should be used by others, but I cannot use others. This can lead to a significant and damaging distortion in their self-perception and understanding of social dynamics. Part 2. Why do obedient children often end up on the losing end? If we look at children who frequently become free tools, we can identify several common traits. First, they develop a deep-seated fear of rejection. Adults understand that saying no and hearing no are normal parts of life, but if a child is consistently taught that refusing a request is selfish, unfriendly, or makes them a bad kid, they become terrified of setting boundaries. The result? They either crumble when faced with reasonable rejection from others, or they exhaust themselves by never saying no, leading to burnout and resentment. Second, they lack the ability to negotiate. Many young adults enter the workforce and end up with the most difficult tasks and the lowest pay precisely because they are fundamentally afraid of haggling or stating their terms. They simply endure whatever is asked of them. These children have never been taught how to negotiate. They might feel intense inner discomfort, but the words stuck in their throats, and they suffer in silence. There's a saying I often repeat to parents: if you don't teach your children, the world will, and the world won't be gentle. It is our job as parents to teach our children to say things like, I am happy to help you, but I would appreciate it if you could help me with this in return. Third, and most critically, they are unaware of their own worth. Many children don't understand that their time, energy, skills, and emotional efforts are valuable commodities. They don't realize that their knowledge, personality, and attention are precious resources. Most importantly, they fail to see that when someone, without any established relationship or mutual agreement, expects their help for free, it is a form of exploitation. Paradoxically, always working for free can push away well-intentioned people. Why? Because healthy individuals feel uncomfortable with a one-sided relationship. They don't know how to reciprocate, and this imbalance creates anxiety. So, the conclusion is clear: the more agreeable and self-sacrificing a child is, the more likely they are to be exploited by those with bad intentions, and the more likely they are to make well-intentioned people feel uneasy. Does this mean we should teach our children to be calculating? Absolutely not. What I consistently emphasize is that understanding reciprocity is an advanced social skill. What we truly need to impart to our children is not a mindset of petty calculations, but a strong sense of personal boundaries. Part 3. Redefining fair exchange. It's about safety and respect. Fair exchange is a fundamental operating principle of the world. Why? Because it's a principle based on safety and mutual respect. Its baseline is security. It's a design that protects everyone's dignity. It's not cold-hearted at all. Therefore, we should let our children know from a young age, you are valuable. Everything about you is valuable. You deserve to be treated as an equal. Your worth is not something to be traded for through your own sacrifice. If you don't teach your children to recognize their own values, the world will be all too quick to teach them a very low price. Let's return to our original example. What should we do? The easy, reactive answer is to tell the child, that kid is bad. Stay away from him. This might feel satisfying. But what does the child learn? They learn to avoid problems rather than solve them. In the long run, a pattern of avoidance will prevent them from integrating successfully into society. So, what's the practical alternative? It's actually quite straightforward. Step 1. Guide a post-mortem analysis. Have a conversation with your child. Ask guiding questions. How much time did you spend helping him with that project? What could you have done for yourself during that time? Maybe practicing piano, reading your favorite books, or just relaxing. Knowing that, do you think that was a fair use of your time? Step 2. But here's the crucial part: don't stop at the analysis. Simply realizing it was unfair isn't enough. The most critical step is to provide them with the tools for reciprocity. Teach them the words to use next time. Role play phrases like, "I'd love to help you with the craft project. It would be more fun to do it together. How about you handle the paintings? And I'll help with the gluing. I can definitely help you organize your notes. Maybe we can do a study session? You can quiz me on science vocabulary afterwards, that would help me too. I'm having trouble with my math homework as well. Why don't we work on it together? If we are both stuck, we can ask the teacher for help." See how this changes the dynamics. In the best case scenario, your child transforms a one-sided demand into a collaborative partnership, potentially strengthening a friendship. In the worst case, the other children, uninterested in a fair exchange, reveals themselves as someone not worth your child's time and effort. Either outcome is a win for your child. This is the lesson I hope every child learns before they dive deeply into group life. The earlier, the better. This is the real way to help them avoid unnecessary detours. Your child doesn't need to become a scheming person. That kind of person doesn't go far. But your child must understand this fundamental truth. Kindness is precious. It must never be given away for free. I am willing to give, but you cannot take it for granted. Have you encountered a similar situation with your child? Do you have stories or strategies to share? Please feel free to leave a comment or send me a private message. Let's help each other raise resilient, self-aware children. If this article resonated with you, please give it a like, follow, and share it with other parents who might find it useful. We aren't in a rush for our children to simply succeed. We want them to learn to protect themselves and navigate the real world without being easily hurt. This is Growth in Action, because growth is a journey we are all on right now.